Ta-da!
Ta-da!
We're here. We made it. Welcome, you lovely ladies.
Hello, Brendan.
And if you're out there watching, I'm not, and you're a man, I'm not calling you a lovely lady. I'm just welcoming these two. So,
and all lovely ladies watching.
and all lovely ladies watching. Exactly. Welcome to the world of lovely ladies. Oh my goodness.
And all of the gentlemen.
All of the gentlemen. And just all of you.
All of them.
So, we have a live.
Yeah, and we're going to have a lot of fun because I'm loving the topic and I'm so looking forward to talk with you both about that, especially with you, Brendan.
Yeah, because I get onto these things sometimes and I'm like, yeah, hi. This is all like I know right now. Hi, yes, that's me. Hi.
Hi is wonderful. Hi is wonderful. You're being. So the topic we're having, and I'm already playing the whole day with it, and I'm just loving it so much. So drum rolls. The topic is, are you loving the skin you're in?
Well, it's funny because I did this month-long thing, and it was titled something like this. I think, "Are you loving the skin you're in?" Or that's what this is called.
Getting to love the skin you're in.
Getting to love the skin you're in. And it was different. It was really cool. And one of the things was I was just showing up and showing different ways that I am with my body, because it's been an interesting thing over the years creating with my body. For most of it, I was destroying myself, and I've talked a lot about my challenges with alcoholism and, basically getting to a point in my life where my body just couldn't go any further. And there was no loving of the skin that I was in at all. It was like, it just, I wasn't present with my body at all. And so the last few years for me with being sober, stopping drinking has been such a different, just a different exploration with that.
I just recently, Brendan, found some pictures from, years ago of you. And I'm looking today at you and you're like, is that even the same person? Right? It's
No.
different. It's so different. I'm like, whatever choice you made there for you, for your body, it's great.
Yeah. Well, I chose to live, but I also chose to recognize that most of what I saw myself as, most of who, what, where, when, why, how I defined myself as, was not me at all. And I just had a trip to Australia for a couple of months, and I haven't been there in 6 years. And I saw things very differently because we create ourselves a certain way, but we don't even realize what we've created ourselves as until we see it through different eyes. So for me, I started really looking at, okay, if I was looking at me, if I was looking at my body through my eyes, what would that be?
Wow.
So I'm very grateful for the acknowledgement, and one of the toughest things for me has been acknowledging that myself.
Yeah. I mean, no one else can acknowledge it if you're not acknowledge it, right?
I know, right? And it's, so I had a conversation with a friend yesterday, and we were talking about being lazy. And for me, I don't know about you guys, but I've always had the point of view about myself that I'm just a lazy bum. And it wouldn't matter how much I do. It doesn't matter how much I do, I'm still fucking lazy. And I'm like, but we always prove against what we've decided we are. So I was in this constant state of doing in order to prove that I wasn't lazy, rather than actually go, okay, where am I being lazy? And one of the things I realized for me in this conversation with this really good friend of mine, one of the things he said was, look, if if anything, if you've shown anything in the last few years with choices that I've made personally, he said, if you've shown anything, that is how much strength that you have. And I was like, thank you. And I really need to start acknowledging that, because I realized for me, even that's lazy. The need for others to validate the choices that only you can make. It's like, I found it very interesting to see things from a different point of view and go, wow, I'm lazy for not acknowledging me. I'm lazy for all of the choices that I make that are easy to create comfort. You know, if talking about bodies, it's really easy to see what you've decided is wrong about you or your body. It's not so easy to look at it and go, okay, where have I created this? Where am I creating it? And what would I like it to be? If I could create it as anything, what would I like that to be? So I was like, man, I'm lazy. I'm a lazy bum. Okay, I need to get to work.
You know what is so interesting? Because my point of view for all of my life almost was everybody loves and enjoys the skin they're in, their body,
Right.
until it hit me hard, until I had to really look at it and realize that no, that 98% of all the people don't like their bodies. And that hit me so hard because, you know, when you don't have that, and wow, even talking about it, it still makes me tearing up. Why wouldn't you love your body? Why wouldn't you just like enjoy it?
Well, it's like how much of that has been a whole lifetime of awarenesses of everybody else's points of view about their bodies. Like if you look at being a kid, you come in and you're like, you know how much you want to eat, you know how much you want to play. You know, a mirror is the last thing on your mind, unless you want to figure out how to make funny faces and make them better and make them funnier. You know, that's the only good thing that a mirror could do for you. It wasn't about looking to see how you looked or how you would compare to others. But then we start with judgment.
Yeah.
You know, and then that just begins to be the way that we create ourselves based on somebody else's point of view, not on, okay, what's actually true for me here? And I mean, I still have to, I have to get to work on using the tool of who does it belong to? Like I'm in Houston now, and I really like going to the gym. You know, I love moving my body. And so I started up with this gym just down the road from me. And it's interesting. Like I'll just have so much space, and then I'll walk into this gym and start going, okay, I'm judging I'm like, I'm not big enough. I'm not tall enough. I'm not muscly. I'm like, what the fuck? Who does it belong to, silly Billy? You know?
Oh my God. Thank you so much for this. Because, oh my God. Because just a little example here from my side. And I think a lot of ladies, you can also relate to that. At home, you're feeling fantastic and you're wearing your jeans and everything fits. And for me, it was from Germany flying to Turkey always. As soon as I landed, I was like, I'm fat. I'm ugly. I'm blah, blah, blah. I'm fat. Fat was the biggest thing there. Fat. And suddenly my jeans were not fitting anymore. And I was like, what's going on? And then with who does this belong to? And, you know, all the tools that we have. It's like, oh my God, it's not even mine. And right now I am in Turkey. And I have a sense of like, oh, there's a little bit, you know, it's a little bit belly here. The food is so good. What can I do? But you know, sometimes you just forget to ask the question, how many people here, especially at the seaside, walking around in their bikinis, in their bathing suits, having exactly that point of view? And I actually, when I'm on my own in the morning at 7, when I go swimming, I feel fantastic. There's nothing. So, ladies.
Well, and then I like what you said there of you have the point of view first, and then the actualization comes from making that point of view reality. You know, oh my goodness, I feel like I'm so fat. And then your body starts adjusting to your point of view, to the point of view that you have. But here's a different perspective that I would like to offer people is, right, like even with something like that, because we can all relate to that in some area of your life, you can relate to where your point of view is creating your reality. You can probably also relate to where you've began buying that point of view. Like for me, money's kind of always been a big thing, but I grew up with people who had a lot of points of view about money, so it's this part of my unwinding of reality has had a lot to do with that. But if you could see where you, first of all, have the awareness, if you can acknowledge that, holy shit, I have the awareness. I just flew from Germany to Turkey. Now all of my points of view about my body have changed. I'm actualizing based on those points of view to go, holy shit, how magical is my body? Like,
And
how fucking cool
instantly.
is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just saying, and instantly,
Yeah.
just like boom, and you're taller, higher, fatter, thinner, whatever it is. It's just like ding.
Yep.
Good body. I love you, body. Do you love your body? What I'm also seeing, especially with this topic, that the body processes that we have, the exit consciousness body processes and 3-day body classes contribute a lot to that. So, me very often, because I'm not a 3-day body class facilitator, you are.
I am.
You are. And I love it that you are. And when I go to classes as a participant and I come in and I look at the bodies and I perceive all of that, and then please tell me how it is for you. And then 3 days later, it's like, have I seen you before? The body starts glowing and shining up and like, oh, you're delicious, actually.
Yeah, it's magic, and it's like, and I agree. One of the interesting things for me about facilitating the 3-day body classes was learning how to get out of control and get out of the way so that my body could facilitate the class. And it was the weirdest thing, because I was like, no, facilitating is about talking, and like, having all the things to say and, and all that stuff. Apparently not, and one of the things I love about, Access and the tools and the 3-day body class and, all of it is about getting you to receive, and so people would come into these classes and, start running these energetic processes, and things would show up in different areas of their life differently, and it was just like I've always had an interesting time even trying to put words to that, just the magic that shows up with it.
Yeah. So you mean, Brendan, that if we let our bodies receive, we can receive in other ways as well?
Yeah. Yep. And
who knew?
You mean receiving is not what we think it is? Isn't receiving just about money and how much stuff I have? No, that's money and how much stuff you have. But that was, I remember when I heard the word the first time, receiving, when I came to my first bars session 15 years ago, and she was like, well, so one of the things with the Access bars is about teaching you how to receive. And I was like, how to what? What? And for me, receiving was, I'd grown up in a transactional reality. Everything was about give and take. Everything with regards to my body was about give and take. If I work out this certain amount, I'll get this result. If I eat this result. If I do this result. Everything was transactional, rather than what if my body was actually something that showed me the that gave me awareness of the world around me. And so with receiving, being anything that I have judgment of, I eliminate that receiving. Receiving is the ability to allow everything in.
Hey, you're just talking about it. I see it in Amanda and in me. We're both like melting and receiving. Yeah. Is there anything that has changed for you in a 3-day body class or with a body process that is still like with you that you can say, wow, that has changed? Like,
I'm sure there are thousands of things.
yeah, I know.
I think one of the things that I've seen that
Wow.
that has been a huge gift for me, I guess, in being in the presence of with facilitating these classes is you see somebody with so many edges to them. And man, do I get that, so many walls up and so many defense systems and so many prove it to me and so many fix me and so many I'm not good enough and all that shit that we do to ourselves and I do mean do to ourselves, because if you can get that part to begin with, wait a minute, I'm choosing this. And let me tell you what's helping me with a lot of this stuff at the moment is everywhere I'm choosing that, I'm just being lazy. I'm not willing to actually challenge myself enough to see that possibilities exist beyond what we've defined ourselves as. And just as a bit of a side note, non-side note with that part, but when you have all of that going on, how much do you push against everything that you've decided you are in order to change it? So it feels like this, you've decided something is a problem in your life. You're continuously fighting against the problem, trying to get out of the problem, but you're also fighting for the problem in order to stay in it because it's the only thing that you've decided based on what you've defined yourself as. To just, what if there was a different possibility with letting go? Like actually just going, you know what, whatever it takes, I'm going to get to something different with this. And so with these body processes, like to see someone go from, that fight for and prove it to me to something cracking in their world where things begin to soften. Like, I don't know about you, but I was brought up being told that if you're going to be a man in this world, you need to be rough and tough and you need to be, you need to be a man. And I mean, you've both met me, but for anyone else who hasn't, that is not me. I'm not the rough, tough sort.
No.
I'm a teddy bear, and so to see someone soften like that and just be like, oh, hi, and to see them behind their eyes, to see them like smile, to see them just be, that's a beautiful thing for me.
When I see you in classes and when we're live together and when we hug each other, just this hug is such an immense contribution to my body. It lightens up my whole world. It makes everything easier. This is why I like hugging you very much. And then, with the roughness that you just mentioned, no, there is no roughness in it. There can be intense a little bit if required, but it is like this melt, let go. And I really would like to live more in a world where when we hug each other, see each other, be that more for each other, this space of allowance, this, where bodies talk to each other and they contribute to each other. This is the world I would like to live in.
Yeah, well, I agree. And we also need to learn how to be that for, and it's not even learn. I don't really like using that word learn, because that would be the assumption that you don't already know. So it's more be and acknowledge that for ourselves. You know, to be look, straight from the horse's mouth, to be in allowance of yourself is one of the toughest choices you will make. To truly have allowance for you, and to be in allowance for yourself, recognizing that you as an infinite being are everything. You know, so it's not about how do I make myself right and how do I see myself as wrong, and I get all of that. This is not a one-stop shop to going, okay, I'm going to choose to be in total allowance right now. No, that's going to be a process. But to have that for yourself, what if you could even begin to, well, see how this is for you? I know it's been contributing to me. Is what if you could begin to recognize everything beyond that is just lazy? You know, but here's the thing: is lazy is a tool also. Lazy is not a wrongness. So you as an infinite being have access to all of it. Meaning, you can choose lazy, but what if you didn't have to judge it? What if you had allowance for all of the things that you've decided you're not also?
Mm.
You know, it's so funny because just like, man, the shit that we do to ourselves. Yesterday, I had such a point of view about this thing. I was just like, lazy. Let me show you I'm not lazy. And today I'm like, I'm just being lazy. Okay, good.
Every time you say it, I cannot stop laughing.
Yeah,
It's
good,
such a funny thing. Yeah.
Yeah, we're just lazy. Like we are. But if you look at the world right now, you know, look at the attention span, look at social media, look at, you know, I can drop something into AI to write for me if I desire to be lazy. You know, we are becoming a lazy species.
Yeah.
True.
What if just because everybody else is choosing something, you didn't have to? You know, what if you're willing to be the one who goes, you know, I'm going to choose something different. I'm going to choose something different for me. I'm going to find out what's true for me.
Yeah. In addition, yeah.
Well, I was just going to say, if you need some help with that, because I get that part, this is where access comes in for me. Is like in this conversation with a friend of mine yesterday, after it, I was like, I thanked him because I was like, there isn't anyone else I could have had this conversation with to get to the parts energetically that I required to get to. And the thing that's different about access is it's about empowering you to know that you know, based on what you know things I don't, and each and every one of us do. And that's the part that makes it so different, you know, in discovering what's actually true for you that nobody else knows.
That, and also all of our bodies are so unique and have different capacities, and access that more, you know, as soon as we go beyond the judgments, the points of views that we're having, hey, body, the communication with the body, the kindness, the caring with the body. And then the body, it just shows up because all the information was always there, but are you willing to listen to it?
Yeah. Yeah. Are you listening to it?
Yeah. Every day more, right? For all of us, every day a little bit more.
Yeah.
And it's a continuous choice. Continuous. It's not just like I'm listening and then 2 minutes later you forgot about it already.
Like, I'm listening if you're telling me exactly what I've decided I can hear, okay, then I'm listening. But I'm not listening if you're not telling me what I want to hear, because then I will manufacture what you are saying so it matches what I've decided I want to hear, so that I can be right with the way I'm creating myself.
Yeah.
Like that. Just did that sound familiar to anyone?
On point.
I've never heard about that.
Yeah, one of the things I in listening to my body, I was at a point 4.5, 5 years ago where I knew that alcohol was destroying me. I'd gotten to a point where I'd basically given into it. I'd just gone, there's like me imagining a day where I couldn't drink was like la 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 la. Don't talk to me about that, you know. And I was struggling, you know. I couldn't stop. And the more I struggled, the more I collapsed into my world and wanted to just. That's a whole thing. But one of the things that I was doing was I was asking my body, because my body was screaming at me, you know, I can help you with this. It would say, I can be here with you with this. It would say, you know, and it just, man, talk about allowance. The allowance my body had for the choices that I was making was just, oh, thank you, buddy. You're amazing. But you know, I would ask it, okay, how long do I have before this is irreversible?
Wow.
And it would tell me 3 years. You have 3 years before this will not change. You know, you will not be able to change this if you keep going past that. And I think it was another maybe year and a half or so that was it for me with drinking. But it was so interesting that my body was just, it didn't have any judgment of it. It was like, hey, we can change this, but it's going to take some work and it's going to take some choices.
I think it's actually phenomenal that you were willing to listen to another 3 years, because, you know, ignoring everything else so much, but this one, you were willing to receive the awareness. Boom. So what did you know?
I think at that point I was kind of really just wanting to hear how much longer I had to suffer. You know, 3 years, okay, good. 3 years, and then I'll just, you know, quit. I was in quit mode.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen out there listening to this, are you in quit mode? Maybe it's time to give yourself a little moment, just like inhale and inhale and look at it. I think it's phenomenal to be it's a great point in life.
Yeah. And we also, we reach different goals in our lives, you know, and like, so if you've kind of like, if things, you know, tend to feel like they've stopped, or you just like lost your mojo, or, you know, you're just like, man, what's the point? Have you hit some goal? Have you gotten to a point in your life that you've decided you will not go beyond? And if you have, this is where what I would, couple of things, is the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 100, shorts, boys, povads, creations, bases, and beyonds. If this is your first time hearing that, you can check it out at theclearingstatement.com. But basically what that is designed to do is take you to the point of creation and the point of destruction, the thoughts, feelings, emotions immediately preceding whatever it is that's creating this for you. Because again, that thing of recognizing that we are the creators of all of it, the good, the bad, and the ugly, again, is not, you know, that awareness is, that's a journey. You're getting that awareness, put it that way. But with that is being able to go, okay, all the decisions, all the judgments, all the conclusions that I have that created all of that, destroy and uncreate it. Pock and Pod, right and wrong, good and bad, Pod and Pock, all 100, shorts, boys, povads, creations, bases, and beyonds. But also, here's the other thing that Dr. Dane here has been doing this magic call. What's it called? Practical magic, right?
Yep.
And it's fucking awesome. It's so good. But one of the things that he's talked about on there, which I found really helpful, just as you put different words to things that we've been talking about forever, it creates a different energy where you're just like, oh man, that so describes that energy of when you have created yourself based on some point of view that, you know, you could spend forever trying to find what that point of view exactly is and dissect it and figure out why and, you know, all of those other things. Or you could just go, you know what? I divorce thee, I divorce thee, I divorce thee. Basically saying, you know what? I'm done with this. And I just, that as a way of putting words to that energy for me has been so helpful, because I could look at so many points in my life where I'm just like, I'm holding on to this. I'm staying married to this for what?
Yeah.
You know, but we do that. We will marry to our points of view.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And other people's points of view.
What's that?
That-
And other people's points of view.
Totally.
Wow.
So
I'm loving this, and I know we could continue like forever and forever and forever because it's so amazing. Thank you, Brendan. Thank you so much, and Amanda.
you're so welcome.
Thank you.
I will say two things. Well, three things. Okay. As soon as we're doing a Facebook Live, I might as well invite you to something also. We have a 3-day body class coming up in Munich.
Woohoo!
Yeah, not Turkey. Munich. Okay. We have a 3-day body class coming up there in November, but also on this topic of loving the skin that you're in. I just started this monthly membership. It's $17 a month, and we're going to do a call. You get a Telegram chat with me in it. I'm going to explore some different things, because one of the things I did with the last one, I was like doing recipes and things in there, you know, like living
love
with
that.
your body.
It is awesome. So good.
You know, like actually living, loving the skin that you're in. So we have that. And then also on this conversation of, I know now I'm turning this into a sales pitch, but oh well, I'm selling myself. There you go. We have on this topic of lazy, I've got this choice monthly thing that I do. This next one is going to be on, are you lazy? Are you? There you go.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I'm
Amazing.
enjoying exploring it. So
I'm so looking forward to everything with you.
I am so
Me
looking
too.
forward to being with both of you guys.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank
very
you.
grateful. Thank you both. Thank you everyone for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks guys. Bye.
And go love the skin you're in.
Love it, baby. Love it.